What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great Thursday. Greg here, Nate here, one box. Other box, usually Ryan's not here, still on family vacay. How you doing, Greg?
I am doing just fine. Thank you very much. How are you?
Great for a Thursday. Great,
Fantastic.
great. Let's take our names off here. People know who we are. And absolutely just ready to drink tonight, actually.
Okay.
I got two. I'm going to go on deck tonight.
You start?
I'll kick off.
Yeah. Please, go ahead. Absolutely.
If you happen to see us on socials, please hit us up on Insta, Facebook. We will be starting TikTok here soon. I hear all the kids love it.
I have no comment.
No comment at all.
I'm aware of TikTok.
Okay. Well, we will. I don't know. I know it's 8 seconds. It's like a rodeo almost. So.
No, it's very popular. It is.
I'm just kidding. I know more about it.
It is very much on trend.
Yeah. So I'm actually starting the night with a very old Barton 86. This is a product I discovered in Kentucky last year. And I say that because we were at Barton 1792 Distillery, and it was part of the tasting that we had. And it was actually one of the more memorable bottles from the trip. And you're thinking, Nate, what the heck? It's an 86. It's a low proofer.
With a screw top.
What are you doing here? And I will tell you, it absolutely is what some might call budget bourbon. It really is. The bottle is anywhere from $11 to $14.
That's a steal.
It is, and it's just everything I want for that. It's not anything fancy. It's not going to have a ton of complexities or anything that you might hope, that you might think. But even when I come to the nose, I still get a great oak character. I'm still pulling a little bit of some sweetness out. That's some vanilla for sure. I'm not going to say and tell you it's the most complex thing in the world, but you're not going to feel bad drinking this at $11 to $14 as a sipper. Have you had this?
It's been a while, but I've had it at some point in my life. Yeah.
Yeah. So because I say I know with the Kentucky background and roots and whatnot. Sorry, I pulled the phone out, make sure no one contacts us during the show. It's something important. But just, I was amazed. They were taking us down and they were giving you obviously some of the others. They gave us the Varial Barton 100 and a couple of the 1792. One of the 1792 is just a small batch, I believe. And we get to this one and I'm like, that's spectacular. And so it was so good that actually Ryan, who's not here today, and I killed half a bottle in the hotel room that night, just sitting there jibber jabbering away and just sipping on it.
Things when conversation's flowing and evenings are going, the drink can go down fast.
But just 86 proof, but it still grabs a glass. It still has a nice presence, mouthfeel wise, viscosity, if you prefer that term. I don't know. Some people do.
I don't know. 86 proof. If you don't know, I'm sure everybody out there listening to us right now knows, but that is double the alcohol content, the ABV, alcohol by volume. So it's 43% alcohol in the bottle.
Yeah. Look who is actually here, Brian. Good to see you, man. Yeah. But yeah. So listen, I'm here to tell you, it's so great to try things. And a lot of times I've been gravitating so much towards a single barrel.
Sure.
Or store picks.
I think everybody does that. I do that. I know I do that.
Well, we don't have availability for crap down here. It's just terrible.
Florida sucks for bourbon distribution. You're either buying something at a ridiculously inflated rate, which is generally way above secondary value, or you've got to know somebody or be working in a situation where you are getting first pick at something down here because it's ridiculous.
I get a tiny little Kentucky hug right here. But I'm not going to tell you, is it the best bourbon you ever had in your life? No. But compare that price point. You can't even touch a bottle of Jack for that. And Jack is,
that's a shelfie.
It's an acquired taste for a lot of people. Well, some people just a shooter. We went on a rail about Jack last week. Let's not go on a rail about Jack again.
Yeah.
But
no, I think the point being is if you've never tried something before and you're curious, that's the only way to know if you're going to be a fan of it or not. It could be the worst thing you've ever had. Could very well be the best thing you've ever had. You don't know. And opinions are subjective. What's great for you, may not be great for the next person. Who cares? Try things.
Have you been to Barton?
No, I've not.
No. Okay.
No. If I have, I don't remember. Not because I was drunk or something like that. I'm old.
If you were drunk and got there, I'd be pretty impressed.
Well, most of the distilleries in Kentucky are just in the middle of nowhere.
It's not so much you actually drive out of a little burb out of Bardstown there, out of their burb.
Yeah.
And it's not far off the beaten path.
Well, but Bardstown's in the middle of nowhere. So
it really is.
It's one of those things you're just kind of splitting hairs in my mind. Like in Kentucky, for me, it's Lexington, Louisville, and it's Lexington by a country mile better than Louisville. But
see what you did there.
That's just, that's just me being
sassy.
I don't know. I got a soft place in my heart for Lexington.
Brian's drinking Saz tonight. Saz Rye. I'll bring it back up for you. I know you were chatting.
Oh, Saz Rye. Oh, speaking of Saz Rye, I believe I saw a post today. I think it was the Sam's Club in Port Charlotte, Northport, that area. I think they have some Buffalo Trace, and I think they have Sazerac Rye there. And I think the Saz was not. It was below retail.
I've seen Buffalo Trace is hitting a ton of the Costco, Sam's Clubs, and all that. Brian was up his way, a place called Cap and Cork. He commented on one of our last videos.
Oh, I recall that. Yeah.
Huge amount of selections, and I don't know how he got out of there with like just hand the wallet over and just give it to him, man. Just like, here you go. I'll take the Saz. I'll take whatever else you got and move on with it.
Brian, how's the Saz? How's that going down? When you know
the answer to that.
I'm sure it's good. I haven't had it in a long time, so yeah.
No, but so it's so weird about Saz though. Like people are always like Sazerac, New Orleans, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. But I think people don't even hardly know that the majority of the Sazerac production is still done at Buffalo Trace in Kentucky. Yeah. And I mean, they do produce some out of the state on site down in Louisiana.
No, it's mostly at the Buffalo Trace distillery.
And people are shocked when they find it out, and they want to fight you. Some people, they're like, no, it's made in New Orleans. I'm like, no, it just happens to be like the city beverage of city alcoholic spirit of New Orleans. But and the Sazerac house is there, which always confuses people too. So I don't know. I'd love to go there. I have not been in New Orleans ever.
I've been there twice.
That's all you have to say about it too. So I can tell
I mean, I have stories. I don't know how much we want to delve into that kind of stuff.
I mean, have you been to anywhere like Sazerac house?
No. I went there. I was 19 the first time I went there, and then my second time I went there, I swam at Kentucky. I was a swimmer. We swam at LSU that year, so we flew into New Orleans. We drove over. We had our meet against LSU in Baton Rouge. We drove back, spent the night in New Orleans, and flew back to Lexington.
Oh, so you didn't even get a chance to get out?
Not my junior year. I was 21 then, but no, there was nothing happened that weekend. It was just kind of tied up with
quite unmemorable
what we were doing.
Did you beat LSU at least?
Possible. I can't remember.
MX Racer Cam says Spirit of New Orleans is also a good plane name.
Front pepper spice tails off for me. There you go.
There you go.
All right.
Front pepper. I think that's an accurate description.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fairly accurate for a lot of ryes, but I'm glad you like it, man.
I have to tell you, so I like Saz neat, straight, but the primary reason we keep it in the house is because wife Sarah, it's her favorite old fashioned.
Yeah. Oh, it makes, if you've not had 100%. A rye old fashioned, you should give that a shot too.
Yeah, and so that's. Anytime I know someone that's going somewhere that has a good plethora of Saz, whether it be New Orleans, we have a few friends that go there quite often, or other parts, not Florida, that have it. It's always like we grab a bottle. I think we have 3 or 4 bottles in reserve right now. It's the only thing I have that much of. Like I don't, it's great. And then I'm in Chicago for a prop day last year, and you walk into Benny's and they've got the 175 handles just all over. Yeah. I'm like, how do I not buy this for $60 and just
sure,
whatever? But it hits a luggage thing, so I don't know.
Well, traveling is always a situation, so
I don't mind traveling with it. It's just half the time I'm trying to now not check a bag.
Well, you got to think. You got to plan ahead. You got to think about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to not check a bag when I travel. Like I just want to go and let me get off the plane. I don't want to deal with whatever. Although I will tell you, the best experience I've had recently was at Newark. Like they're on their game up there. Like whenever you check something, that bag is out in 10 minutes. And you would think for Newark being a ridiculous airport, it would not be that way, but it is.
It's a high volume airport.
Well, I'm going to kill this one. 1 drink down. Greg, what'd you bring for the old offering plate this evening?
Well, this is what I teased 4 shows ago, and then I didn't show up because I had to put on my parent hat. But this is the Russell's Reserve single barrel pick from the Gator Club. You guys can see that there.
That comes in pretty good.
Where am I turning it there?
Right there. Yeah.
There we go. That's it right there. So I've only had 1 drink out of this. My buddy James and I opened this up. Our buddy James and I.
No, he's your buddy.
Well, he's your buddy too.
All right. If you make him my buddy,
we can all have multiple friends.
We can all, yes.
Anyway, I picked this up during COVID. The Gator Club was doing a lot of they were selling a lot of bottles, things like that, just randomly here and there. And the morning I went was the release of this, their barrel pick, but they also had a bunch of other bottles. I think I got a Stag Junior that day, and I cannot remember what year it was. But I mean, they had a bunch of good stuff. But I got to tell you, after the one drink I had of this within the last month, I am pissed I didn't get a second bottle. It is pretty good. There's nothing fancy going on about it in terms of, it's a single barrel pick from the Gator Club in Sarasota. But it's a 10-year bourbon. It was distilled November 23rd, 2009.
It's a turkey product.
Dumped.
Right?
Yeah, close.
Yeah. Russell's is turkey.
Yeah.
I doubt myself sometimes when I say stuff like that.
Wild turkey. Yeah, this Russell's Reserve is from Wild Turkey.
Yeah.
It was dumped on 11/15 of 2019, bottled a month later on December 11th. That's about all I have to say about that.
Okay, Forrest.
I mean, yeah, sure.
That's about all I have to say about that.
So,
I have always enjoyed just Russell's 10 to begin with. And I know a lot of people don't. I get it. They're like, there's other better 10-year products out there. But I had the same, not this bottle, but our buddy James, we do share him. He had brought this same bottle over, and it was very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
I recall that every single piece of it I enjoyed.
What was it? The 10-year he brought over?
I'm pretty sure it was this bottle.
Yeah. This bottle? Okay.
Yeah.
I quite honestly, I don't know. They may still have these bottles at the Gator Club. I don't know. It was a while ago I bought it, so I would assume they've sold out by now, but I honestly don't know. So
the thing I love about this bottle in particular, and I love it when distilleries do this, is they give you a plethora of information here.
Oh yeah. The label on the back, I don't know. I didn't show it earlier, but
it might come in okay.
I don't know,
they tell you like information about mash bill. They tell you information about dump date, like he read. They tell you information about. I think it even says, is that 6th floor? Or is that part of the title?
The Gator Club CN-F 6th floor.
So I think that's actually a code that says.
It's where CN. I don't know
the Rick House.
CN, but it's the warehouse F. Floor 6.
I just think that's cool. I mean, it's probably not as cool for like a bottle like this as it is for something like Four Roses, where it could be wildly different because they have all those yeast strains and all that stuff.
Sure.
But I just really love that kind of nerdy information. Yeah. So what you got going on here? What do you think?
Well, I got just a disclaimer here, and I don't think I've mentioned this, or maybe I have at one point. During the whole COVID situation the past few years, I'm pretty sure I may have been one of the first people to get it. There was a point in January of 2020. I don't miss work frequently. I'm self-employed. And there was a point I missed like 2 or 3 days of work. And there was one day in the afternoon, I remember sitting on the edge of my bed. I was coughing. I literally, it was a 15-20 minute coughing where I could not catch my breath. I couldn't stop coughing. I'd never been so sick in my life. I was at the point where I thought, this is hospital time. We're going to the hospital. And I didn't end up going, and it passed, but I'd never been that sick. And since then, I have not had my sense of smell. So I get whiffs every once in a while. In fact, like last week, there was a day where I could smell things. So I'm hopeful things are coming back, but it's not perfect. So I'm going to give you what I can give you on the nose here.
So to extend on that, we have talked ahead of this, obviously, because I want to be sensitive to that. I don't want to appear out here to you guys like, oh, he's such a dick. He's asking when he smells. No, that's not the case. No. Greg knows I'm going to ask every time, and he's going to say, hey, I don't have it. I'm not getting it today.
Yeah.
And we're just going to roll with it because one day it's going to come back or it'll come back in spots.
Do you want to have a smell?
I'm going to grab.
Well, you're going to grab a pour?
If you don't care, I'm going to grab a tiny pour.
No, please take as much as you want. Please, absolutely.
I'll leave you the bottle.
No. Well, I'll take the bottle home, but take what you want.
Fair.
So, let me go on the nose here.
More.
I'm getting sweet. I tell you this, the ABV on this.
You know what? This is actually kind of cool, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way. It's actually kind of cool for you to translate what you get and let me, so I can kind of understand where I'm coming from.
So it's 110 proof. It's 55 ABV. Mm-hmm. So it's on the lower side of a proof, I guess. But it's a single barrel, so it's going to be unique to itself. So the sweetness it comes through a little bit on the end, a little caramelly. And then, of course, at the end of that, I'm getting, a little bit of burn from the alcohol there. But let's have a sip of it and see what we think.
So I agree with you. I probably would have went more brown sugar side than caramel, but a little burnt caramel or a little darker caramel. But you're not. The fact that you're telling me you can't smell it's surprising because you pulled that very well, in my opinion.
Well, that was all I could get. And usually I kind of prided myself a little bit recently, earlier in my life prior to COVID that I could smell things. Everything was functioning. So the taste of it kind of is reminiscent of the smell there. I get that sweetness in the beginning. A little caramelly kind of, but to your point, I think there's real similarities between brown sugar, dark brown sugar, burnt brown sugar, that kind of stuff.
There's a line, but they're
a caramelized kind of thing. and it's smooth. It's very smooth. Very, very minor warmth going down at the end. I really enjoy it. It's a little bit of spicy, a little bit of spices in there.
The baking spice, definitely. I mean, it's such a common term to say baking spice, but it's there.
But like a baking spice, like an allspice kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. There's a little bit of red fruit buried in there.
Yeah, you get that?
Yeah, a little bit buried in there.
Very rarely do I pick up any kind of fruit.
I can understand. Yeah, I could see that with what you explained about the smell and the taste.
Yeah,
because those are typically not going to be ridiculously strong flavors. Sure. Those are going to be, subtle. It's mid palate ish. There's a little red. It's not strawberry. It kind of leans cherry.
Yeah.
This thing is just, I mean, for anybody, and then the turkey that I always, for whatever reason, and maybe this is planted in my head from people that don't like turkey products. This is really bad, especially if you like Dickel, but that's Tennessee.
Wild turkey.
There's a little nuttiness to it. I mean, it's tiny, very faint to me. And that's probably planted in my head from people that don't like wild turkey products.
I didn't get that, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I've got the best.
It's just like almost like a little peanut skin, but not. It's not a prominent flavor. It's something I've been trying to pick up and like think about more because it is in a lot more whiskeys and bourbons than we want to think. So, you don't say. Today is National Tater Day, huh? Well, okay, so you can like look over my shoulder here and see, a bottle of Blanton's. So I'm a tater for that. But there's a story behind that one. That's why that's not one open. That's actually wife Sarah's. It is actually on her 40th birthday. That is the dump date. So I mean, you're never going to have an experience like that. But there's a couple bottles back here unopened, and there's a couple things that we might consider tater-ish. But you're gonna say the same about Saz, bro. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. So. Oh, this is enjoyable.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's very nice. I'm telling you, I'm pissed I didn't get another bottle, but I may just go down to the Gator Club and see if they have any more. I don't know.
Yeah,
speaking of the Gator Club in Sarasota, we were talking about this earlier. I think they do a phenomenal job of their barrel picks over there. I've not had one, and I've had a bunch of them. I've had 4. I've got, and I'll bring in next time. I got a 4 Roses single barrel at home. They did.
You're gonna have to do a lot of convincing. I'm not a 4 Roses.
That's okay. I'm not here to convince anybody about anything.
Not, man.
Years ago, I had like 4 bottles of their one of their Buffalo Trace barrel picks. That was fantastic. I know a lot of people shit on Buffalo Trace just because it's basic. I think it does really. I think it's a decent bourbon. I think it does well. I use it for a mixer.
Their handling of BTAC and antique lines.
Yeah, they are the king of hype. So. Yeah.
No doubt about that. 100%. But
if you've never had Russell's Reserve, what is the one that gets a lot of play, a lot of talk?
Russell's 13 has been it was high on a lot of people's bourbon of the year list last year, which was really odd because when you would go back and watch a number of those shows, the initial bottling or I don't know if they did multiple bottlings or what they did last year, there was some quality issues, and then all of a sudden, apparently those got worked out, or at least. Supposedly there were quality issues. I should be very careful. I don't want to say that I know that to be true. And then I guess people just from there on just were like, this is great. This is spectacular. Yeah. Same thing with the Seagrass up there.
Sure.
People, it made a lot of people's best stuff lists. It is, so I'm not a big homer for a lot of people, but one of the people I do watch on occasion is Fred Minnick from Bourbon Pursuit. Well, he's with the Bourbon Pursuit guys, but it's kind of his own thing now. He described it when he put it at number 2 on the list. He's like, Seagrass is a mood. Like you need to be in a mood for it, because it is. There's a lot going on and it's a little hot. And so you're going to need to let it sit and open up. So it's definitely one of those deals where you're going to want to sit. This is not bad. This is, and the Russell's 13, I'm hoping would be in the same vein. But I can't touch a bottle. I'm not going to go pay that secondary.
I'm not paying secondary for Russell's 13 either. It's just, I have a hard time paying secondary for anything. So
yeah, hit on the head. I hadn't even looked up on the screen, Brian. Yep. Well, from 300 to 600, just because people,
Good Lord. I didn't know it was that high, man. Like 300, I would have said 300 if I had to guess, but.
So you want to talk about, we don't need to get deep into it because obviously it is what it is. So general inflation, but we've also even seen runs on bottles start to come back up.
Yeah.
It's just, it's that, but I think that's what people want you to believe the trend is going to be in bourbon because there's supposedly a new oak shortage, which can make some sense. A new white oak shortage because trees only grow so fast. Last time I checked, you find a way to grow a tree faster. Well, you're probably gonna make a lot more money than the trees. I don't know, but
you ever roll your bourbon around your tongue?
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, I try to get on my gums. That's why you see me. Yeah. When I taste, I lower my head.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure I'm near the mic. I lower my head to make sure it comes to the front of my mouth.
Yeah.
And it sounds weird, but it gets all up in here. It gets all up in here. So
that's where I rubbed the cocaine also when I had a little bit of leftover on the gums. You know, you just do that on your gums.
We're in Florida, okay? Cocaine.
That was a joke.
I think he winked at me. I don't know.
That was a
What's
joke.
on the table?
No, nothing. Nothing.
Oh crap. I don't know.
Yeah, I like this. I'm happy I've got this bottle. I'm gonna be pissed when it's gone.
So that lesson here is whenever you guys come down to visit us, we'll take you to either Gated Club. We'll take you to. You have not been to Dive yet, have you?
No, I've not been to Dive, and
So Dive is another great spot.
Yeah.
But you didn't hear that from me. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. And then there's just all you go north, and there's even more. I mean, that's Sarasota. There's a couple other spots in Sarasota, like State Street, and a few other places that have good selections. But
the one downtown, Cask and Ale.
Cascanale
they
also.
They have a nice selection.
Yeah, they tend to be a little pricey on the pour, in my opinion. But,
yeah.
You know, these other places.
Oh, they certainly aren't pouring. They're pricier than Gator Club and Dive for sure. But it's a nice atmosphere. They have a nice Sunday brunch if you're looking for something like that. They usually have live music along with it.
Do enjoy me some brunch. So I might check that out. I've never been. I keep telling you guys about how bad of friends you all are. You know that? I just got on a horse there, didn't I? Like. Never been to Sage Biscuit until James said, Buddy James. Yeah. You know, Buddy James. That's he just earned a nickname. And then I've never been to Cascanale. Well, I take that back. I bet wife Sarah's going to chime in if she's watching. She's going to say that Bev, Sarah, and I stopped in there for one drink. But I've never been there for like food.
The one in Sarasota.
Yeah, the one
because the original one is in St. Pete.
Yeah. You guys are all horrible friends.
Listen, I've not been to Cascanale in over 2 years, so I'm not even sure what you're talking about.
Okay. Fair enough. So you getting out, but the other people I know down here, you guys are just horrible friends. I'm kidding, of course. You're not. But you ready? You want to kill this one too?
Yeah, kill it.
All right. 2 drinks down. So my offering for you guys, and I'm being careful because this bottle's actually very heavy. Old Elk. So I have found Old Elk to be always an interesting beast to me. There's some other history. If Brian Deddy's still on here, he'll probably laugh because way back, our high school rival is the Centerville Elks, which is a weird thing. It's not because of that. It's just because I found that I don't always enjoy all of their product. I simply don't. The Sour Mash I like. Their straight bourbon, okay. Their weeded products I tend to enjoy. So there's another store locally in St. Pete, First Avenue Liquors. Or First Avenue, I think it's Liquors.
Okay.
Yeah. It's right behind Green Bench, actually. Literally. Right. And they got a store pick Old Elk. This is a 6-year weeded. And of course, when we do store picks, people love stickers. So this one has an Elk Duds sticker, which signifies how much it's very a chocolatey experience, obviously. And it says a smile with every pour, to mimic the label.
To steal the intellectual property from.
Yeah. Because, that's what we do. We're just, whatever.
We don't do that.
Well, no, not yet. Not until we get our own barrel pick. But, so feel free to sniff, smell, taste. Yeah.
No, I think I'm gonna just.
Yeah. But gosh darn it, if you don't take a whiff of this and you go, they plant the idea in your head, of course, with a sticker. But if you're thinking independently, like there's a ton of chocolate on nose on this thing, and it carries through the taste. And so you can see where they probably, because I will tell you right now, this is not on profile for their 6-year wheat whatsoever.
Are you saying you smell chocolate?
Absolutely.
Okay. I didn't get that at all, but that's here I am.
Absolutely. There's a lot of chocolate there.
You know what?
Not the only thing.
Pour a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just going to open it up in this and see if I can smell anything. Now I'm annoyed.
Yeah. No, it doesn't take much. I'm kidding.
That is the truest statement anybody has ever said about me. You want to annoy me? Not hard. Not fucking hard at all.
Leave him a voicemail. See how that goes for you. You won't hear from him for weeks, if ever.
Yeah, well.
No, so Old Elk wheat, this is definitely, and this is what we do with barrel picks, right, guys? Like we love them because they're off profile.
Did you get it? Yeah. I mean, initially.
It's just a big waft, and then you get in the oak.
Huge. It smells like a handful of M&Ms kind of a deal. That kind of chocolate.
I can see that.
Or not M&Ms, Hershey's Kisses, that kind of stuff.
It's a Hershey's chocolate experience of some sort. Yeah, I can see that 100%, and it follows through in taste.
Well, M&Ms are not Hershey's, They're their own thing.
They're Mars.
Yes,
M&M, and they're made in Hackettstown, New Jersey.
Oh yeah,
yeah, just over from Andy's.
All M&Ms are made in Hackettstown.
I do not know about all, but the headquarters for M&M's,
like if you're ordering,
a factory for M&M's is in Hackettstown, New Jersey.
If you're ordering their cheesy crap where you can get like initials or sayings on them and stuff like that? That's made there?
I don't know that to be true, but I do know that they could serve as W's, E's, and 3s also if you need to. Listen, this is what I'm here for. You guys learned something tonight. Might not have wanted to, but you did. So,
I mean, that tastes like chocolate.
And then you get the traditional bourbon finish,
a little bourbon,
little oak.
Yeah.
And the finish on it is so strange to me. I've had it 3 or 4 times. As you can tell, I haven't drank down the bottle, but
you got this in St. Pete?
Got that in St. Pete. I don't think they have any more, unfortunately.
I'm sure they don't. Yeah. Why would they?
Well, and the nice thing about
if you're not buying that.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess it depends on how you feel about Old Elk, right? Because and there's people that also don't even like the Old Elk story is cool. So Greg Mates, I think how you say his name. He was formerly with MGP in Indiana.
Okay.
And then he went out and found these guys through contacts and things like that. And they said, why don't you come here? You can do whatever the hell you want. We're going to source MGP until we have our own distillate and we're ready to. And so this is all now, I believe a lot of these things coming out now are his own distillate because this was some years ago. And so the guy knows what he's doing. I mean, he had done it on the largest scale you could possibly do it, really.
Yeah.
Because MGP is massive. They're like we talked about, I think on one of the shows here, they're 40% of the production of everything made in Kentucky.
We did
essentially so if you would replace Kentucky up to 40%, and their rye is excellent for MGP. So when I think this is a weeder.
Yeah, if you don't like weeded bourbons, I mean that might not be your thing, but I mean what the weeded bourbon that gets the most talk I think is Weller.
Yeah, I would say so.
I don't know, just because Buffalo Trace is really good at hyping up their bourbon.
Yeah, but not for the faint of heart. This is coming in at 116.7.
Yeah.
So up the scale.
A little bit more than the Russells. Not much. 3% or so.
Up the scale. We did this in the right order, at least for once. So you got 95% winter wheat and 5% malted barley.
Okay.
So I mean, really big wheat if you think about it. And it's really strange because a lot of times you'll see them go with a third malt sometimes, but they chose not to here. At least for some balance and whatever. And I think it really served this one really well. And whatever barrel they happened to get a hold of and this one was sitting in, just, it turned out this way.
Oh, it's tasty.
So
I think I like that more than the Russells, I think.
Yeah, I love their tops.
Oh, that's a fun little top.
It really
looks like a tree trunk.
Kind of looks like,
like a slice of a tree trunk.
Great. And then they have the elk pourer, which I have out there. I just didn't bring it in here, where you just stick it in there. Yep. It looks like an elk with all a bunch of, I don't know what that is. That's going to be screen capped. You know what I just did there is going to be screen capped by Dave, right?
Is it a speed pour?
Yeah.
Cap thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the stuff you see, it's just a little fancied up. It's the stuff you see in bars on the speed rack and stuff like that they just tip over.
Oh, that must suck. An Old Scout cap and cork, pick. That's terrible, Brian. I wish you wouldn't drink swill and talk to us, please.
Now, wait a minute. You were drinking Saz. Are we?
I mean, we're on our third drink. Why can't he be on his second?
I mean,
not chastise the man, huh?
I'm just asking questions over here. That's all I'm doing.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, he might be in a bit of a lull with children and things in terms of their activities and whatnot as well. So he's probably really releasing and letting go. I don't know.
I'm in a little lull right now, too.
It's nice.
Well, it is, but there's just practice all the time. So
practice.
I don't have to go to games or meets or anything right now.
Practice.
Yeah, still talking about practice? Jim Mora?
Oh, man. So, okay. So, weird thing. Probably we're going to lose the few people we have here, but I hope not. I did not know this until the other day. There is organized, it might be a club sport for high school level. There's beach volleyball down here.
Oh, I knew that.
I did not realize. That makes sense. Don't get me wrong.
Have you not seen them practicing?
Well, no.
You're not, you should have to go out to the beach to see that.
No, they actually are doing it like on like a.
Oh, but
so over there in Lakewood Ranch, they built the one tennis court and They do it there.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I mean, I see the high school kids practicing out there.
I guess it makes sense. Don't get me wrong. It's 2v2 also.
Yeah, exactly. It's the stuff you see in the Olympics. The stuff.
I'm like that.
Who are the famous ladies that were in the Olympics for a few years?
Gabby Reese.
Yeah, there you go. It was the two of them.
No, I think Gabby Reese and somebody, and then there was two more.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you see that in California. I'm not a beach guy. I don't go out to the beach that much, but they certainly are out there playing and practicing.
I was just kind of surprised because we would follow some people when I saw some pictures. They were doing senior pictures and stuff, and one of the girls wanted her match, like had to have pictures for senior pictures and stuff.
Sure.
I was like, that's crazy.
It
makes a ton of sense.
There are all kinds of sand courts around and stuff.
I mean, it's a quick game, and you're talking probably what you have an A, B, and a C squad. So you're talking taking 6 or 7 school age children.
Yeah.
They can take a small van and go wherever.
Well, it's much like, I mean, in that regard, it's much like tennis. I think when you're talking about doubles and things like that, it's just, you got a few teams and here we go.
And the way you do is you play 3 matches or 5 matches against each other and best of 5 wins and you move on with life. And it's probably relatively quick when you go to these places that have multiple courts. You can have all 5 games going at one time and you're done in an hour.
Oh, for sure.
So it was just, sorry guys. I know it's probably boring for you guys. But it was exciting and interesting to me to see that. I was like, it's crazy. Cause I know like one of the things that we get to brag about, and if Brian's still on, too bad we have spring football. Sorry, Ohio needs to get with the times and have spring football.
Is there no spring high school football?
There is not formal spring football in Ohio. No, not in high school.
No,
teams are allowed to gather without the head coach. They can have any basically.
They don't have spring practice or anything.
Not formal. No, they're allowed to get together for weightlifting and whatnot, but that's about it.
You wonder why the SEC is just smoking everybody right now. I think it's because football is ingrained in the culture in this area. I mean, even as far over as Texas, that sort of stuff. But I mean,
I tell you right now, like I step back.
This is our church down here. It's football.
I mean, because kind of the history. I've told you some of the kids that came through our high school.
Yeah.
Like AJ Hawk came from the place I said about the Elks. Sure. AJ Hawk played there. So from Pat McAfee. I do know. Also,
AJ Hawk from the Packers. The
Packers. Yeah. Ohio High School Athletic Association will beat you all the time. Yeah, because they can't make money. That's why. That is legit. I believe after and I've been gone from Ohio for 8 years now.
Yeah.
But even now, the little bit I keep up with it, because they can't make money off it, they don't care. And that's the sole reason.
I mean, that's the sole reason for most everything.
It really is. I could tell you right now, if you would have given 5 spring practices to some of the teams I'd seen, not just my local high school at the time, other schools, just to give them that little bit of extra, kind of that push.
Like my son today, I picked him up from practice. He gets out of school around 2:20, 2:30. I didn't pick him up until almost 5 o'clock. It's organized practice. They've got a scrimmage, like a inter squad scrimmage, like green and white, whatever, in early May, and then a couple weeks later, they got one game against Osceola High School. It's here, Lakewood Ranch, home game this year.
That's awesome.
So I don't know, and then that just rolls it right into summer training and stuff like that. They just kick.
So
their
they
ass.
are allowed to, once the school year. It's easy for me to say, yeah.
Sure.
Once the school year rolls over, they are allowed to actually meet, but then the actual practice time doesn't start until August 1st. They can start 2 days, I believe.
Okay.
And season kicks off.
The fourth week in August. They still do 2 days.
Yeah, they do it modified.
Okay.
Though.
They don't do 2 days here.
I don't think they do. Well, I can understand why. But even in August in Ohio, it's a similar temp to down here.
Oh no, I know. But even like when the school year starts and stuff, they're most of the days, because of the rains and stuff like that, the kids are, even when school started, they're out there like at 5 a.m.
Oh, pound for pound, I'll take Ohio football over most states. So gosh, Brian, since you're hanging out, I want to go there. Let's keep going there.
That's Homerish, man. But
no,
whatever.
In a way, like it is, and I understand what he's saying. If I line up Lakewood St. Edward and Cincinnati St. Xavier, and maybe like on a good year, like our alma mater or like a Centerville squad.
Are we talking just high school now at this point?
Yeah, just
okay. All right, that's a different conversation. You get into college and above there.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
the top end
other
players,
Ohio State, Mount Union.
The top end players are coming mostly
Mount
from
Union, D3, whatever. They haven't won a title in a few years, but they're dominant. But in terms of high school, so Brian, the weird thing is Mac. Yeah, the Mac baby.
Sure.
The weird thing is down here.
We're in SEC country down here where the big boys play.
So the weird thing down here is like high school wise, preps. Our first 2 years we lived in Bradenton, but our high school was called Braden River. They happened to make the state semifinals. When you watch that game, they end up losing to St. Thomas Aquinas, who is just a power. They're just ridiculous. Outside of IMG and a couple other schools, they are it.
And not just football. It's multiple schools.
It's unfair because
multiple sports.
They are a private school that recruits openly. They really do.
That's the same thing IMG does.
Well, IMG is not even unabashed about it.
No, they're just in your face.
They're not even allowed to play in the Florida high school playoffs.
No. Well, they have two teams. They have 2 varsity teams. They have their national team that travels around, and then they have the other team that's
the national team that has 27 kids get a D1 scholarship.
Yeah.
Hey, only 22 can be on the field at any, 11, well, I guess a punter or whatever. I don't know.
No, if you,
long snapper getting a deal.
IMG, if you don't know, is like the whole like the college admission scandal stuff that went on with like Felicity, what's her name? Huff.
Oh yeah,
and Lori.
A lot of that side door stuff.
What's her name from Full House? All that stuff. The past few years,
the side door stuff.
That all started at IMG with some jackass guy that was running the whole thing.
What's the one in Vegas? It's newer. Bishop Gorman.
Yeah.
So I love the prep stuff. I can go on for days, but to kind of wrap that point up entirely. So like, I look at the prep stuff, and we were fortunate enough to see our school have like a Braxton Miller, who was a quarterback.
Sure.
Amazing talent. But when I say that, he took him to a state title game. The kid that played basketball at Michigan State and his little brother, Trice, his little brother took him to a state title game and actually had a better chance to win, and I think was a better pure quarterback. Now he's playing basketball in Europe and whatnot and having a good life. But just it was always fun to go out on Friday night. And you're starting to get this experience now more with your oldest. Now, granted, down here it's a lot different. Friday nights for the first 10 weeks are not going to cool off.
Oh, I don't think it's uncomfortable.
Well, you're used to it.
So. I've also lived down here a long time.
Yeah,
However,
I forgot that. So the younger brother that I just mentioned,
is that right?
He went to IMG for basketball, and then he got on at Wisconsin.
Okay. So, I didn't know that, but yeah. No, IMG is a situation.
It really is.
And I don't mean to shit on Ohio. I know what Ohio is. I'm very familiar with Ohio. I have two of my best friends live there. I went to school in Kentucky, adjacent to that.
You just meant in terms of football.
I'm overall. A Midwest guy. No, I'm more or less trying to give somebody shit if somebody's trying to argue that, like if you're making the argument that I wasn't thinking about it from high school. High school football and high school athletics in Ohio were a huge deal. I totally get that. So no, I'm not going to shit on you on any state about that, or certainly on any kid that's out there just giving it everything they have. It's hard.
It was always fun to watch. Like we would be lucky enough because Wayne would be invited to these big national events a lot.
Sure.
And we'd go and watch the game before and the game after. And like you just watch the talent on the field. And some of the guys we've seen play that have made the NFL is just unreal.
Well, I told Amy this, and I don't think she ever thought about it. She's not really into sports like I am. Like, she tries, she gives it, the good old effort. But
go sports.
All right. And what I said to her one time was, when you see greatness, when you see something spectacular, it jumps at you. It jumps out at you.
It really
you don't need more than 2-3 seconds to see it. Yeah. You've seen it, and you're like, oh, that's different. And
can I tell you the most striking experience I had was basketball?
Yeah.
And it was a couple years after we moved down here. Our high school had a really good team. They came down and played at Culligan down at Fort Myers.
Yeah.
And they played against, I do not remember the name of the school, but Ben Simmons. It was Ben Simmons was on that squad. And he dropped 28, had 8 rebounds, maybe played 3/4 of the game and looked like he was going half speed.
Yeah.
And at moments he would just turn it on and there's no one that could touch him on the floor.
It's not even fair. Yeah. It's just it's superhuman. I think that is what people are looking for when you're watching athletics, when you're not even just athletics, anything in life, when you're looking for something spectacular. You're looking for something that does not look like a human being should be able to do that.
Kyle Rudolph. Oddly enough, Kyle Rudolph, we played Wayne. I say we, I do the sports fan thing. Wayne played against his high school team and he played tight end. And then I think they even put him in at D end.
Yeah.
And you just knew this guy was going to be a major college star. You had no idea if he'd be an NFL star at one point. And to go on and do what he did is not surprising.
To that end also, though, you see these people sometimes every once in a while out in public. They look different. They're a bigger, taller, stronger, some sort of version than everybody else around them. And it's just a different thing, and they stand out. And you just notice it.
Who was the most impressive at Kentucky when you were there?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Like playing wise?
Any sport, any just like, wow, like holy shit. Besides you, of course.
I was a swimmer. Whatever. Nobody knows anything about that.
Yeah. LeBron James played at UD a ton, like just because of things, the state title games.
Right.
And, watched old Alter high school coach try to just slow the game down.
Yeah.
I think they beat them once, but they lost once like 40-38, and LeBron scored like 27 of them.
All right.
But he shut down the entire rest of the team.
Okay.
So anyway, sorry, derailed that, but that was a good call, Brian. LeBron is, I didn't go watch that game, so I didn't get to see him, so I can't claim it, but
I bet that was pretty cool, Brian.
Yeah.
I bet it was pretty cool. All right. So my years in Kentucky were 95 through the winter of 95 through the spring of 2000. Tony Delk. I know. I got Tony Delk's cell phone number in my phone.
Easy shit.
Just dropping names there. That's a whole long story about that. But anyway, I've known him for a long time. But yeah, he was fantastic. He was a senior when I was a freshman. But I mean, we had like Walter McCarty was blowing things up. He was a senior.
Players too, right?
We had same year as me, Brandon Webb.
Mm-hmm.
He won the Cy Young Award one year. He played for the Diamondbacks for about 10 years. He's from Kentucky. I had a class with him one time. That's about my experience with him. We sat next to each other. Walter McCarty, Antoine Walker was just a stud in college.
He was so smooth his first few years in the NBA too. Yeah. But then he kind of hit that plateau where like, okay.
Yeah, I think he put on a little bit of weight. I think he had a little bit of gambling issue, a la Dennis Rodman kind of stuff. But the dude was such a nice guy. Walter McCarty would just sing all the time. Beautiful singing voice, if you don't know that about him. Mark Pope was there. He was fantastic. These are all basketball players. I was there when Tim Couch was there. He lit it up in college for the couple of years he was there.
Tim Couch was fun because like that whole aura of him starting in his varsity team in 8th grade in high school.
Yeah.
Like, he always struck me as just like someone that was like a nice guy, but you couldn't really have an intellectual conversation with him. Don't need to comment.
I'm not going to comment.
Rhetorical.
I got stories and I just didn't want to
let's leave them there. We don't need to. I'd love our podcast to blow up, but I don't want it to blow up that way.
No, not that way. But like, I don't know, like my freshman year, sophomore year, Bill Curry was the head coach. And I got a little soft spot in my heart for Bill Curry. He used to play for the Packers, when he was in his playing days. He played for Alabama, that kind of stuff. But their fucking offense just seemed to me like their plan was 3 up the middle and punt. Every fucking series. I saw Peyton Manning play his senior year at Tennessee against Kentucky. They beat Kentucky that year 73-3 at home in Lexington.
Right.
And I sat there it was raining. My roommate Jared and I sat there. We watched the whole game. And it was more or less, I think we were being obstinate because,
right. How
cheering
often
for
are you going to see
Kentucky,
Peyton Manning? Yeah.
It was Peyton Manning. And we're like, we're going to be able to say we saw this guy play live in college.
So Nick's going to bring up Braxton. Nick's one of my old buddies too. Absolutely not old buddy. You're still a buddy.
Yeah.
Braxton, he's referring to his freshman year. So we started a kid against Coleraine, you've heard of Coleraine. I'm sure.
Yeah.
And this is when they were a definite power. We were down like, I think 19-6 at halftime or something. And Braxton just almost claws back in the game single-handedly. And then the lore was on from there. It was definitely an amazing thing. So you just touched on something that I was going to come back to.
I officiated high school basketball when I lived in St. Louis before I moved to Florida. And
that is wild.
Darius Miles. He played in the NBA.
Long. That dude is ridiculously long.
Watching him play in high school was, it's got to be akin to what LeBron was doing or Ben Simmons. It was just, he was a god among men kind of out there. He was doing whatever the hell he wanted to do and nobody could stop him.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I did call a foul on him that actually decided the game. He was shooting free throws to win the game, and he had to make both of them to win it, and he missed the first one, so I'm going to tie it with the second one.
Right.
And he shot the ball and his foot was over the free throw line.
Oh, no, it doesn't count.
I called it, and the game ended like that. And holy shit, was there a fucking like ruckus.
Yeah.
And their head coach, Darius Miles' head coach, came up to me. He shook my hand and he said, "You made the right call."
That's cool.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
That's cool. That tells you there's a guy that has a sense of
well, then we got out of there. We were escorted out by security. So
of course. Brian's bringing up, of course, Braxton Miller. We are always going to hang. Wayne Warriors are always going to hang their hat on Braxton Miller. No reason not to.
No.
There's a picture out there. I looked for this a while back, Brian, and I couldn't find it. Braxton used to have it on his Instagram. So we're playing Middletown. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. In the playoffs, and Braxton's our quarterback, and Schwarber was playing D end, I think, at the time. And he comes in and he just has him dead to rights, and Braxton just does a reverse spin, and Schwarber's Supermaning past him. And then so Braxton, of course, posted that and put the day I retired Kyle Schwarber from football.
Mm-hmm.
And so Kyle Schwarber went on to have a great baseball career, obviously. So he's not hurting.
Oh, when I was in school also, and I don't know much of their names off the top of my head, but they had a great track and field team. They put a bunch of people on the Olympic team in '96 and 2000.
Kentucky?
Yeah, Kentucky, the track now
team in
particular.
Nick's Middletown. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah.
Nick's close to the track team at Wayne. They've had a lot of good kids. But yeah, it's unreal. So I think we probably had a kid go to Kentucky. I don't recall. Yeah. But I explained to you a whole deal offline. We'll wrap it in a minute.
Yeah, no worries.
About our coach, our track coach is just a master hurdler.
Yeah.
technique coach guy, and so I think we've had a few kids go on for that.
Very cool.
Performance by Robert Landers' senior year, Flip West Virginia, Ohio State. Yeah, there's been a lot of things over the years. It's fun.
Oh, speaking of that though, like awesome people. So I went to chiropractic school in St. Louis, and Jackie Joyner Kersey from East St. Louis. In fact, a lot of people from East St. Louis.
Yes, East St. Louis. We played them. It was
my buddy Edgar, who I went to school with in St. Louis, met Jackie Joyner Kersey not too long ago, and he said it was just a cool experience. Just not Jackie Joyner Kersey. I'm sorry. Who the hell did he meet? Now I can't remember. It was somebody along in that circle, kind of a deal. Now I'm an idiot, so I'll text Edgar and find out and correct myself later.
Just come in and comment, and here's no. East St. Louis is those kids. They have a rough life. A lot of them.
It's a rough area. I'm not going to get into that conversation because I've got thoughts about that too.
Yeah, well, we know, and again, it is what it is. But so our high school and these guys are on and they're following. We played East St. Louis in one of the showcase things I mentioned, and they came out. That game was really hot. They came out. It was at Paul Brown Stadium, so it was the Bengals Stadium, and of course they did entrance music for the high school kids to make them feel, and they did the "We Put On for Our City" song, and those East St. Louis kids came out bouncing and stuff. You're like, oh shit, we're gonna get smacked today, and we happened to beat them, but it was just like they were. Every position on the field was so athletic. It was ridiculous. Yeah. So I don't know. Well, what? So Old Elk,
I love it.
Good.
Yeah.
AJ Hawk sucks.
3.
No, he's a great. I love him with McAfee, but I'm a McAfee homer. Whatever. So
I enjoy McAfee.
He is what he is. If you take him for what he is, great. If you don't, like neighbor Andy because he hates the whole Atts and Pittsburgh Yenzer thing,
I mean,
like,
listen,
whatever.
I hear you there too. I get it. I hate Joe Rogan, so whatever. A lot of people like him.
We can go back and forth with people that we don't like and all that, and it is what it is.
Oh, speaking of that, just before I end the show, if you have Disney Plus, you're a Marvel person, go watch Moon Knight. If you haven't seen it yet, it is stellar. This is my personal thought in the matter. Obviously, they're dealing with mental health in that, with the dissociative identity disorder. Now, I don't know where they're going to take that.
I don't think they're trying to glorify it. They're trying to actually say this.
Absolutely. They're not glorifying anything. It has only been one episode, but my hope is that they do it justice and they take it down a road where they're not glorifying it or whatever you want to call that. I'm not sure that's the right word.
I think they're actually trying to say it's, without giving the plot away, they're trying to say it's actually protecting him.
Possibly. I'm just curious where they take it, but I do like the where Marvel is going with the different things they have had, like in Hawkeye. The initial antagonist is deaf. Her name's Echo in the comics. If you follow that stuff, obviously Daredevil. Everybody knows Daredevil's blind. I like seeing more inclusivity and more representation across different spectrums, whether that be.
It's all going to make this better.
Be gender, identity, all the differences that you can have at the table. I think just
it's
strengthens.
Only going to make the MCU and everything better.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
aside from life, we could talk life too. But
it was really good, and that is my hope that they go down that road and they do it justice.
I love the ending of the episode. The ending was great. The perfect way to write the first episode. Like the way they built it and ended it, just perfect.
Oh, and
I
mean, whatever that was at the end, but my favorite part was, I'm not going to spoil it, I think, but the bathroom scene at the end with the
hashtag no spoilers. Yeah. I give you that.
The way they work the mirrors and stuff like that around, and
the way they,
it's just great.
You knew it was coming, but they still paid it off.
Yeah.
And I love shows that can do that.
Yeah.
When you can telegraph something to me, which is like old school, we text now or whatever, near field communication. I don't know, but when you can do that, and I'm still just like, oh, that's amazing. I'm like, yeah, it was a payoff. So I'm excited for Moon Knight. Tickets should be going on sale for Doctor Strange anytime.
Yep,
anytime.
I'm going to see Morbius on Saturday.
I hope it's good.
Well,
I hope, but I've heard nothing but like
that's what I've heard too. I'm still going to go see it. So
we'll
see.
Halo, yeah or nay? Yeah.
Oh,
so
Halo.
Asking. Yeah.
Halo, yes.
I've not watched it, but Greg is a big proponent of Halo.
I've only seen the one episode. I didn't see the second one drop today. If I can stay awake until whenever it's over, we'll watch it tonight. But it depends
Nick,
what Amy's up to.
You're keeping the old man up, Nick. Come on.
Yeah, I got to get up early tomorrow. I don't have to get up early, but I'm going to be up early.
It's just who he is, you know.
Well, speaking Moon Knight, also the last thing I'll say, and I'll shut up about it. The director of it,
you're right about that, Brian,
is he's originally from Egypt. He's Egyptian, and a lot of the Moon Knight mythology and setting and stuff like that within the comics centers around the Egyptian culture and their gods, their deities, and stuff like that. I read an article that he was happy to be able to do what he was doing within the show and the constructs of it, and he was proud of it. He said he really felt that they were representing his culture in a light that he thought was appropriate and positive and that sort of stuff. In fact, he went on to say also in the same article that he was not happy with the way they represented it in Wonder Woman 1984. If you saw that recently, I
can see that. It's but you either invest in that or you don't. Yeah, and again, between those two,
I am happy that somebody is at the table that has a role that has a role that is important. He's the director that is from that culture. I can't think of somebody better. If you're going to have something about that, have somebody that knows what they're talking about, that knows that is part of it.
So I'm gonna give it one more second or two. Nick, no spoilers. What did you think about the second episode?
Nick. So you've watched the second one. So
we're take a minute or two from,
and that's totally fine. I'm just curious. Yeah, good, no good. Where are your thoughts on it? I really enjoyed the first episode. I'm hopeful for where it's going.
Come on, Master Chief. I never play any of the games or anything. We talked about this last episode. I'm waiting him. We'll give him a minute to reply. It's laggy. So if you guys are hearing us and you've already typed, sorry, we don't see it. It's YouTube. It's not me. It's you. Tube.
That might be us.
Get it? See what I did there? Anyway, that's all I got.
But no, I don't know.
It's a good thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. So Siskel and Ebert here, apparently.
Nice.
That's an old school reference.
That is an old school reference.
It really is.
Because they did like after Gene
Siskel
when he died,
Roger Ebert,
or Roger Ebert died. Then it was Gene Siskel died first. Then it was Roger Ebert and Richard Roeper.
No, I think Ebert died first.
I thought Siskel died first.
I don't know.
Anyway,
they're both gone. R.I.P.
Cool.
So I think you need to take us out, right?
Yeah. No, I hope everybody has a great week, and the world is fucked up enough. Be kind to yourselves.
Absolutely.
Treat yourselves well. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everyone. I just ended it without doing the.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
I did not end it yet, so people are still watching us.
Oh,